Hi BookTube, it's Amy. For whatever reason, Mondays are always the best day for mail. I've got 3 packages here and I'm going to open this big one first because this is the one from Horizon Books in Toronto that I've come to love for their excellent stock of books about books. And this was an excellent way to end my work day, to go downstairs to the mailboxes and find 3 packages. I think they must have switched up who's on my route at the moment because they've been leaving the packages down around the mailboxes. So to get to my mailbox, I had to move somebody's massive, I don't know what was in it, some sort of rug or piece of furniture in some massive box that was propped in front of the mailboxes. And this big box here was sitting on top of the mailbox unit. The smaller ones were inside it. Certainly not the usual mail guy, because the usual mail guy leaves packages like this that won't fit in the box outside my apartment door. So let's get these open and see what lovely things we have to entertain me today. Oh, this is gorgeous. So I ordered these books without seeing pictures of them, and I can see that that I made a good decision. It's still in the bubble wrap, but look at that. So 2 books here, nicely packaged. I can smell that old book smell just sort of wafting off of them. I'll just gently get into this. I'm trying to be careful because I've got a new blade up on this knife here, and I don't want to harm the books or accidentally stab myself. So here's a little something called Book Collecting by J.H. Slater in this rich blue with the gold. And this is one that I picked on random. So we have a book plate in the beginning. Book Collecting by J.H. Slater, large paper edition, limited to 500 copies, including America number 344, published in London 1892 by Swan, Sonnenschein and Company. So it is one of a limited print edition of 500 copies. Book Collecting, a Guide for Amateurs by J.H. Slater, editor of Book Prices Current, formerly editor of Book Lore, author of the Library Manual, Engravings and Their Value, the Law Relating to Copyright and Trademarks, etc., etc. And there is this. The best I can describe it is a coat of arms here on the title page. Ardava Quev, I can't quite make out what it is. It's not English there, but there is the coat of arms right there. It looks like a couple of unicorns. We've got an illustration here of an old printing press from Quintilian of Vasconfolio, Paris, 1538. And it says Aberdeen University Press on this page here. So this is a complete mystery to me. I bought it on a whim because it did sound interesting, and I was sort of intrigued by the fact that it was one of a print run of 500. So we've got, it looks like a chapter here on ancient manuscripts, the library at Alexandria, Greece and Rome, monastic manuscripts, the discovery of printing. And so I would guess this is going to be sort of a history, so to speak, letting you know as a collector, if you were a collector in 1892, what is out there that you might be collecting or might want to collect. There is a chapter in here on stains and wormholes and other pests, the bookworm and other pests. The Aldine Press, several chapters in here on presses, Oh, and this is lovely. We've got these illustrations, the marks of various presses, I would assume. Lots of lovely illustrations throughout here. So this is going to be fun to dive into. I'm putting together quite the collection, I guess, of books about books and book collecting. So then the second book we have here is something called The Kingdom of Books, published by Little Brown and Company. This is kind of interesting that the corners are in the white paper. I think it's paper. It feels like paper. So we have somebody's book plate in the front here. Birds of passion and of mirth, ye have left your souls on earth. Charles Maca Wilcox. Well, that's kind of a neat book plate in the front here. And we've got this deckled edge here on the book. Without books, God is silent, justice dormant, natural science at a stand, philosophy lame, letters dumb, and all things involved in Cimmerian darkness. Thomas Bartholin, 1672. So there is a quote here at the front of the book. And then we've got a nice frontispiece here. I can't quite make out the signature, but it is a painting of what I can only guess is perhaps the book stalls in Paris, or I mean it could be along any canal, but that's immediately where my mind would go to. Oh, right here on the red here, it actually says the book stalls on the Quai Malaquais from the original etching by W.S. Lampecht. That's the first time I've ever seen printing on the tissue paper protecting the illustrations. I've never seen that before. So The Kingdom of Books by William Dana Orcutt, published by Boston Little Brown and Company, ex libris William Dana Orcutt. And we've got the publication date here in Roman numerals. I will look that up myself when I'm done here. I'm not so good with the Roman numerals, and I'll be sure to put that in the description of the video. Maybe I don't have to, because here on the next page we do have copyright 1927, so that probably answers that for me. But then we also have, this is another similar draw to this book for me. Here it says 475 copies of this limited edition have been printed and are inscribed by the author. Of the 450 copies which are for sale, this is copy 267. And there is the author's signature there. And I don't know if it picks up on camera, but that is definitely actual ink there. Probably written with an old style fountain pen. Certainly not a ballpoint pen. To Alfred Robert McIntyre, in token of friendship. We have the dedication there. And what do we have here? We have contents. Prime ministers to the book, modern masters of typography, books al fresco, books in the cradle, the book in full dress, the clothing of books, a personality and a shrine. And there is something called L'Envoi and Index. And then we have a list of the illustrations here. Quite an extensive list of illustrations, 4 pages full. And so this looks like it's going to have some wonderful illustrations to look at as well. Oh yes, this is going to be a very interesting read, I think. So that is the take from Horizon Books out of Toronto. As I said, I'm always impressed with what they send me. Certainly exactly as described here. Book Collecting, A Guide for Amateurs was described as illustrations from early sources, index, original gilt decorated cloth, gilt title lettering, spine and a little frayed, very good sound copy, a survey of all aspects of book collecting that were popular at the time, including famous book collectors, book publishers and presses, and an interesting list of UK booksellers who published catalogs, many of whom are no longer in business, but gives a good picture of what it was like at the time. And then Kingdom of Books was described as color frontis with tissue guard, numerous plates and illustrations, facsimiles from earlier rare books, portraits including the 6 plates only in the limited edition, bibliog, index, original vellum backed boards, gilt spine, title lettering. So yes, that would make sense to me. It does feel a little bit like vellum, the spine at least, and the corners, but this I think is just paper put over the vellum. End paper book plate of Charles Wilcox, original ribbon bookmark, fine, clean condition. Original ribbon bookmark. Oh, I sort of missed that. There it is, poking out of the bottom. Oh, there's a big hunk of dust on the bottom, which is, I guess, bound to happen. There's the bookmark there. And of course, the seller always says a picture is available upon request, but I wasn't really too concerned about what they looked like. I just was interested in their contents at this point. Now we have this little package here that is an envelope, but is annoyingly completely covered in packing tape. So there's no tearing here. I'm going to sort of push the book down so that I can cut without causing damage. Oh, this is another one of the Harlequins I ordered. So this one I read as a teenager. It's called The Scars Shall Fade. And I remember it being a little bit like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. The back says the scar that marked Andrew Darwin's face was a slight thing compared to the scar that a woman's fickleness had left on his heart and his feelings. And so obviously he's not a beast, but he's got the scar, and if I recall, she is a little bit afraid of him and frightened at the start, and then of course they fall in love. And this is by Nerina Hilliard as well. And I don't recall much about it. First published in 1960, this is the 1965 republication. But as I said, I don't recall much about the book, but I recall it being one of my favorites, one that I think I read a couple of times over. And we've got one more book here, and I know exactly what it is because it says on the Customs Declaration, Royal Pain, a Royal Pain. So this is a book I read as a teenager, and I got to thinking about it recently and wanted to reread it. This is A Royal Pain by Ellen Conford. And it's this ridiculous story about an American girl who discovers that she was accidentally switched at birth with Princess Florinda of some obscure European country. And now that they've discovered she's the real princess, they have come to America to take her back, and she goes to this European country and thinks it's going to be great and a big adventure, but then of course she begins to miss her parents and her friends and this guy that she was interested in, and she wants to go home. She wishes that she wasn't the princess, and there's these restrictive rules, and she's roller skating all over the palace, wanting to wear her blue jeans. They're trying to put her in dresses, and she concocts this plan to make it seem as though the switch never happened, and it leaves you with this mystery at the end. You know, did the switch happen? Did it not happen? And it is just a fun, absolutely ridiculous novel. And it actually reminded me a bit when I read it of the whole Princess Diaries movie. I was exactly the right age when the first Princess Diaries movie came out, and I was obsessed with that. I recall trying to read the book series that was based on, but the book series by Meg Cabot, but I didn't really enjoy those. I didn't get into them. But this was sort of along the same lines and a lot more fun. The ordinary teenager who discovers that she is a European princess and embarks on an adventure from there. And so, of course, I have to see if it holds up and if it's as funny as I recall. I'm just remembering one other thing. One of the reasons that she wants to escape from here, she discovers that she's been betrothed since birth to this prince from some other country, and he's not very attractive and not very interesting to be around, and so she wants to escape him, but she's been told that she's supposed to marry him on her 16th birthday or something, and so she has to find some way to get back to America and get out of this royal life that she thought was going to be so fantastic. So those are the books that came for me today. Definitely an excellent book Monday. I hope if you've ordered any books, they've arrived for you as well, and I hope you're all having a lovely Monday.